Hello everybody. Welcome to another special edition of the Musings and Music Show. My name is EGBE MBIWAN MONJIMBO, like you know already, and I'm glad to be with you again. And I thank you all, faithful viewers and listeners to the show. This is the month of October, and if you know anything about the month of October, the major thing in it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That's why you see me in this pink thing you see here. And I am so privileged and blessed to have two other ladies dressed in pink as well, who are going to introduce themselves to you, and you're going to find out exactly why they're on this platform today. We'll go seniority, so we'll go with the biggest sister first. Yeah. Go on, please introduce yourself. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. So, Sister Pam, go ahead and start with the introduction.
Okay. Good evening. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this, our beautiful program with my little sister. I am Dr. Pamela Egbe-MESSY, more frequently known as Auntie P. So I wear, I don't know how many hats: journalist, translator, healthcare provider, fashion designer, you name it all. And as you see, all three of us here, we hail from our beautiful planet called Cameroon.
I like the way you put that. Welcome to the show. And my own sister over there, I've gone from big sister to my level sister. Go on.
Level 1 year older, 1 year and a half.
Please.
Yes, so well,
stop flexing. Just
yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Justine, last name Mbianda. Like our beautiful sister just stated, I also wear several hats. Well, the main reason we are here, I'm a breast cancer survivor, first of all. I'm a mother of two handsome young men. I'm a nurse by training and profession. I'm also an IT professional, and I own a residential service agency.
Awesome.
So, thank you all.
You're very welcome to the show. You're both welcome to the show. She also already said it. They are here specifically because they are breast cancer survivors. Do you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about your I hate to call it that way, but your cancer journey? But not as if that is what defines you, but because that's why the show is on. What is just a little bit about your story with regards to cancer? Let's start with Justine this time and come back to Sister Pam.
Okay. So, this is my second time on the show talking about my cancer journey, like you put it. So I will just recap what we discussed the last time. So I unfortunately have had an elder sister who died from breast cancer. She was diagnosed in December, and in June of the following year, she passed. So that put some fear in us, and in me particularly, because, she was my older sister, but she was my mom. She raised me. So because of that experience, I went for mammograms every year, just to make sure that if anything came up, it was caught on time, and then we tried to avoid getting to stage 4, So every year I went for mammogram, and in 2010, I went for one, but for some strange reason, 2011, I skipped. I didn't go at the same time I would go every year. So I was taking a shower one day, and of course, we are taught to do your self-exams in the shower, about the same time every month, so you don't forget. And I felt a lump in my breast. Now, this lump was felt 2 years prior to it being diagnosed as breast cancer. So I called the doctor, and I went to see a doctor, and I said, I felt a lump in my breast. He did the examination and confirmed that there was a lump, and asked me to go to, referred me to community radiology for a mammogram. So I went, and for some reason they said, oh, yeah, we feel something, but it's nothing. You have cystic breast, you know how they come up with this stuff. And because I so willingly did not want it to be cancer, I believed what they said and I left happily, right? Oh, thank God it's nothing. I don't have to worry about it. So one of the points I press as we go later, I'm going to bring this back up, is that we really have to take control of our health, you know, our own situations and not just believe everything we are told. So then 2 years, you know, in the future, on this 2011, you know, I went to sleep and I had a dream and I saw my late sister. She died, you know, in 1996. So that was so many years after she had died. I had never had the dream of her coming. So in this dream, I think she was driving and my older sister, Mrs. Nkoa, is sitting on the passenger side and then I'm sitting in the back. She turns to me and she says, sisters are so special. For some reason, I got up in the morning and I said, why did I dream of sister now when I'm sitting here not sure about this cancer thing? Because even though they told me it was nothing, I agreed it was nothing, every so often my little voice would say, should I go check on this stuff? You know, should I just sit here and be happy that it's nothing? So I said, you know what, let me examine my breast again. Just make sure that everything is fine. So that day I went into the shower and I said, wait a minute. Why do I, maybe I should go back to check this. The lump was still there. The appearance was a little bit different, but back then I knew nothing about what the signs and symptoms were. So yes, I had everything. I had the inverted nipple. I had the peel-like, orange peel-like dimples. I had all the signs, but for some reason I did not know at that time what those signs were. I learned those after my diagnosis. So I called my doctor to go back for an examination. He was not available. So I went, I went to community radiology and I told him I needed a mammogram. And they said, ma'am, you cannot walk in here without a referral. You have to go to your primary care physician or whoever has to refer you before you can come. And I told them I was not leaving without the mammogram, because these are the people who told me before it was nothing, right?
Right.
I'm not leaving until I have a mammogram. They told me I wasn't going to have one without a referral. So again, my doctor was out of town on vacation. So I just looked in my purse and I saw this doctor's number. I called the doctor and I said, please, I need a favor from you. I'm at community radiology. They would not see me without a referral. Can you please fax over a referral so I can have a mammogram? This guy was very good. He did fax over a referral. So they saw me. So then after that, I went home. I'm waiting for my results to come, waiting to hear from my doctor. So after a week or so, I didn't hear from my doctor. I called them back. And I said, I hope I'm not talking too long. Is it okay?
Go
Yes.
ahead.
I called them back and I said, I still have not received my results. My doctor hasn't called me. And the lady who picked up the phone said, ma'am, there's nothing we can do. You need to talk to your doctor. I told her, if you don't give me my results, I will be in your office in 5 minutes. Yeah. She probably thought I was kidding, right? So I said, I am coming over there unless you give me the results. Then she said, okay, hold on. She went, she came back and she said, well, it looks like you need to come back for a follow-up. I said, I need to come back for a follow-up and I'm forcing you to give me my results.
Right.
So now I was really there in that 5 minutes. I drove over so fast. So now they put both results on the wall. The results of my last, 2010 mammogram and the one they did now. Right. And they said they could see some shining spots that were not present in a mammogram that I took in 2000. Yes. So we need to check this out, make sure that it's nothing that we should worry about. So now I had to go for a sonogram after the mammogram. They had to send me to another room for a more detailed examination. So I did that. And then guess what? They said, okay, can you please go to this room and sit down? I went in the room and sat down. It's never a good idea when they send the social worker in before the doctor comes. So the social worker came in and she tried to prepare my mind. a little bit, cancer is no longer.
And you're there alone.
Yes, I'm alone because
That's not what you expected.
yes. So now the doctor comes in and says, oh, you have to go see your primary care doctor, and you might have to go see an oncologist. We saw some, I already knew they were there, right? Yeah, we saw this, lump, and it doesn't look like it. Well, I think you should go see them. They will tell you exactly what it is. So I went to my primary care physician. I was so mad. I actually skipped an important part. When this lady was refusing to give me my results, she had faxed the result to the doctor. So before I left, after my mammogram, I told her, when you fax my results, make sure you fax the ones from the year before so he can see the comparison. You're telling me they're shiny, but let him see, right? So
the impression of the thing.
Yes. So she faxed the one from before first, then she faxed the one from 2011. So my doctor came, just picked up the paper, and the one from 2011 was, 2010 wasn't on top. So he thought, oh, it looks good, and just put it to the side. He didn't realize there were two results, piece of paper faxed to him. So when I called, he was like, Miss Mbianda, I don't know why you worry so much. There's nothing here. Everything looks good. I said, did you look at the results? He said, yes, I did. It looks good. I said, no, it does not look good. There's a problem. He said, what are you talking about? I said, I asked them to send you both. Did you look at both? He said, oh, there were two. I said, yes. So now he went and discovered that there was another sheet that he hadn't seen. And that one, of course, had the real, the recent results.
The cause for some concern was right there. All of this tells us self-advocacy. You need to speak up for your own self. Not just sit there lamely and sheepishly, just take whatever is being said, go on home, and your little denial is playing in your head too. You don't want it to be so, so you say, okay, it's not so.
Yes.
I'm glad you did that. You pushed for that. So this was 2011 that was happening.
Yes.
And so when did you actually have to go through the treatment? That same year or the next?
So this was already November.
Okay.
Right?
Now
this was
November.
Yeah. So when I went to the oncology to see the oncologist that I was referred to, they told me, don't come alone. Okay. The day you come for your results, make sure you bring someone with you, right? Because they didn't want you to drive after that, just in case. So I was like, those people are crazy. How could I have cancer? Please. I drove myself to the doctor's office. So once again, the social worker came in, and then the oncologist came in. They gave me a package. I mean, they told me all these things that I don't remember, because from the moment they told me I had cancer, everything they said when I'm like, who are they talking to me? What cancer? How the hell am I going to have cancer? I didn't pay attention to anything else they said after that. But they gave me a package, and one of the folders said Cancer 1001. So they said, who is the person that came to take you home? I said, no one.
I drove myself.
Yeah. They said, so how are you going to go home? I said, I was going to drive. They said, nope, you cannot drive. Someone has to take you home. I said, okay, I'm going to call somebody. Sure. I walked down and I said, like, hey, I'm driving home. But in my mind, I knew that I was going to a restaurant. Either I was going to a restaurant to eat some good food and comfort myself, or I was going shopping, right? So either way, I was driving to the mall, because that's where all the stores are. There you can have a restaurant. Yeah. I got in the car. They thought somebody drove me home. I drove myself. I got in the car, and I thought I was going to the mall. Next thing I found myself, I was close to my house. And then I saw all these beautiful trees and everything. And I said, oh my God, you mean to tell me that very soon I will not be able to see all these trees? You mean I'm just going to die? Oh my God. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I broke down. I said, God, I started crying. I've been a good child. I honored my parents. You said, honor your mother and father. I did everything right. How are you going to do this? I just went through a terrible divorce. I thought life was getting better. Now, oh my God, I cried and cried. Guess what? I caught myself. I'm in front of my garage. I'm like, oh no, you can't cry. Children are home. I wiped my eyes. I looked in the mirror. Hi kids, how are you?
Yeah.
Because it was November.
Right.
It was time for their exam.
Thanksgiving is coming, Christmas is
and I
coming.
didn't want them to know So I had to contain myself and control my emotions and keep it for when I thought was the right time then to share with them.
I tell you, and if I remember right, you had your mother living with you at the time, and you did not tell her.
Yes. As
Yeah.
a matter of fact, my mom died last year,
Yeah.
October 20th, tomorrow. It's going to be the 1-year anniversary of my mom passing. And Mama died never knowing that I was a breast cancer survivor.
Jesus will tell her when it does not matter anymore. Yes, that's what happened. I see Sister Pam going, wow. But that's what she did, and I applaud her for doing it because there wasn't anything Mommy could do to help. But if she had been told, she would have gone.
I had to spare her because it's 6 months. Yes. I knew she was not going to be able to handle it.
Right. So she
ended up in the US because she couldn't handle the passing of my older sister. That's why we brought her here. So now, if now the person that she's come to get some comfort and solace from also is dying, no, she wasn't going to be able to take it. So
because she was going to conclude that that's what's going to happen to you, whereas it did not happen. Praise the Lord, and knock on wood, it would not. Because that was 2011, like you said.
Yes.
It's 2023, and you're still
12 years ago.
And looking the way you are. So
amen.
That is why I wanted you here, vibrant and all, to tell your story. So somebody who's watching this and gets a diagnosis doesn't just lay down and just say, I'm done for. Let's hear from Sister Pam what her own story was like.
Okay.
Well, my story is kind of funny or strange. I would say I'm a two-time survivor. We'll put aside the first one and just focus on the breast cancer. I never felt a lump. And trust me, I will not say that I had those dense breasts that they always accuse, or they always say, Black women have. So, yeah, babush. So it was easy to.
I don't know if everybody found that, but the word you used was babush. Oh my goodness.
So, yeah. After my younger sister's wedding, Jane, in I think 2017 or something, I started having, strange issues, anger issues and everything. My blood pressure was all over the place. So we went to the doctor. My other sister helped me find a primary care physician. And then, blood pressure, we knew I always had that problem since 2008 or so. But then I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So she said, okay, we're going to run all your tests. I don't know for how long you haven't been to the doctor or anything. So we started. Almost every day I went for one thing or the other. And then we got to the point where she said, okay, I need to do a pap smear. I said, you're not going there. There's nothing to smear about. Don't worry about doing anything. Just say you're not going there. So you have nothing to smear. So we, she sent me for the mammogram. She was like, when was your last mammogram? I said, maybe 8 years ago. She's like, what? I said, yeah. So I went, did the mammogram. I went and sat down waiting. That was end of 2017.
Okay.
Did the mammogram, came and sat down, and they called me and said, it's not clear. We need to do a sonogram.
Okay.
I went to the other room that same day, just sitting there waiting for the first results. They called the other lady. She came, did the sonogram, and she's like, we see something, but you will need to do a biopsy for us to determine. Or I'm like, okay. She said they could either do it there at the lab, or I could see my doctor for a referral to another specialist. I'm like, I'll go see my doctor. So I went and saw my doctor. She referred me to my breast doctor, Dr. Jaberi. She's a sweetheart. So I went, we spoke, took the appointment. I lay down there when she was, doing because while they were doing the biopsy, there was ultrasound being done at the same time for her to be able to locate. For some reason, as she was sending that needle in the clipping, I was like, just cut that thing and go away because it's there. I don't know. Yeah, no, I said it. I said to myself, I know it is what we think. Yeah.
So you were the reverse of Justine. Justine is like, this cannot be
No,
you.
no. There was no denial. I knew it was there.
Oh, wow.
So, yes. Now her thing was like this side, they would do the right breast, they would do a biopsy, but the left one was kind of tiny. So they were not sure. She was saying like, maybe in 6 months, we will do another mammogram. I said, you go do that biopsy and give me the results. A few days later, she called me. By the way, in the meantime, we had started preparing my mom's 80th birthday. So she called me, can you, Miss Mercy, can you come to my office and stuff? I said, what is it? It's what we think, right? She said, yes, but just come over. I said, okay, I'll be right there. I went, took out her things, started showing me pictures. Right? I said, okay, so what do we do about it? Straight off, I said, what do we do about it? You are the breast doctor. You have to take this thing off. Yeah. So she gave me the option. She said, most people prefer to remove the lump. I said, which lump? I said, you're going to take that old breast away from my chest. She said, now for the other side, you may have to wait, for
6 months.
Another mammogram in 6 months. I said, Dr. Jaberi, I cannot be moving around with a sleeping monster in my body waiting for 6 months. I said, take those two things away from my chest. Kids are grown, babies were there, grandbabies were there. So right now there's nothing going on. Take them off and then we'll see what to do moving forward. So that's how we started planning. But now I had to keep this to myself until for at least 3 months, until after mom's. But if you remember, we were sitting at my table and everybody was like, Pam, you know the dance, go and dance now. I'm like, oh, you look so good. I say, yes, I would make it. To myself, I was like, I could make a beautiful corpse too. but the stress was, so now while we were waiting, for her birthday preparations to go on, I started getting really nervous. I couldn't talk to anybody. I was tense, tempers were flaring. Oh, why did you choose this place? Why didn't you do this? So at one point I'm like, these fools don't even know what I'm going through. They should stop all this fighting and arguing and everything.
Which are regular things that any family planning something, but then it's so much more probably aggravating because you're like, how frivolous, my very life.
Yes.
But you cannot tell them that.
Exactly, you can't. So, but now towards the end, I was working on the seating arrangements. My youngest brother was in the dining room. I was in the kitchen. He would go and come back. Say, Pam, are you done? I'm like, no, this thing is confusing me. I can't, because that's one of those days where I was not, with myself. So at one point he came, he said, are you okay? Do you want me to help you? I said, no, I got this. Then I said, so look, you know what? I need to tell you something. He's like, what? I said, the doctor says I have cancer.
Just like that.
Yeah, the doctor says. He just said, oh, He stood there and looked at me, said, and then he walked out of the kitchen, went upstairs to his bedroom, and didn't come back down. I kept working and I'm like, what is that? So I went, knocked on his door. I said, are you decent? Can I come in? He said, yes. I opened the door. I said, he was laying on his bed with his hand. But I'm like, what are you doing on your bed? I said, if you're doing this, what do you expect me to do? I said, this now is our load to carry. Wait for all of this to pass. So you're going to come down with me. We'll finish this thing, and then we'll figure out what we're doing, you know. So that's how we did. But in the meantime, I was going, you know, making my appointments with the oncologist and, you know, the whole team that was going to work with me. So there we are. We did mommy's birthday. The following day was the barbecue. Kids were going back. So, and then he asked me, say, did you tell your brother? That is my other brother. I'm like, no. I said, let him go back to Europe and meet his wife with his wife and children. We'll figure it out. It's like, you need to tell him, because this thing we need to. By the way, when I left the doctor's office after the biopsy, that's the only time I broke down throughout. I mean, right up till today. I came home quietly, my same old self, went to the bathroom, stood under the shower, cried. And then I stopped, you know, because usually when I'm stuck somewhere, like even when I want to pray and I get stuck, I switch to French.
Right.
So I was crying, and then I said, Mon type, viens en cause. There I was talking to God.
Right.
I went and sat down on my bed, all wet from the shower, and I said, okay, now this is what the doctor says. I don't care what they say. I never went to medical school. I don't know how this thing is going to happen, but I know that from childhood, they told us that I am made in your image. So I'm beautiful, I'm successful, I'm everything. I said, this battle is not mine. It is yours. If I fail, shame on you. And I never revisited it. I just left it there. Maybe it was my own way of not dealing with it. I said, it is yours, and I don't want to know anything about it. And I would get up in the morning. I will not say, where, Papa God, can you know, don't forget that. No. All I did was I went to all my appointments. I followed everything. I said, because my dad always told us he has many names: the great teacher, the great medicine, the great anesthetist, the great everything. So you have all those titles, you handle it. I don't know what they call cancer, or, you know. So that's how I handled it then. But you see, my brother kept saying, tell this person that he wanted, you know, just that close circle of brothers and sisters. I told him, I said, the first one, you guys didn't know anything about it, and I handled it better, because I wasn't worrying about who is worried about me. And trust me, Egbe, when he said, you have to tell mommy, I said, hell no. He said, you just have to.
Which one was the first one? It's the first time I'm hearing, I didn't know there was ever a first.
Because she said she's downplaying that one, so I'm just following along with her.
No, we'll get to that one at another time.
Okay.
When I was in the Midwest, I was still in the Midwest.
So you're really a double
survivor.
Yes,
I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed. So, and Justine was right for not telling her mom, because my brother Solo, he insisted. He said, mom is in the house with us. She will know when you go for surgery. That woman, she's a teacher. She knows what is going on around her. So we sat down. I said, okay, this is what the doctor, each time I blamed the doctor. I said, this is what the doctor says. Of course, mom buried me instantly, started crying. Oh, why me? Why? So we had to blackmail her. We had to threaten her. I said, mom, first of all, why not you? I know you buried your son. Who else would you? Okay, I say, right now, I have this. Which other child would you have wanted to go through this? I say, and if you shed one more tear, I'm leaving this house. I'll have my surgery and everything out of here. She said, "Mommy, I'm not crying anymore. I will not cry. I promise."
She weighed the options and said, okay, let me just shut up and see.
Yes. So
Right. But it's not easy for them. Nobody
No,
wants
it's
to
not.
hear
no,
that.
no,
Nobody
and
wants to
mine
hear
had kind of traveled a little, so they had to take off some lymph nodes and oh, after the surgery, when the doctor sent the tissues for pathology, they realized that I didn't have 2 lumps. I had 5. 3 were hidden behind the first 2.
Wow.
So it made the stage, yeah, and then they
So
had to
what
take
stage did they give it?
Number
What
2.
stage did they say it was?
2B.
Okay. Okay. And for Justine, yours was?
Mine was 3.
Mhm.
Before the surgery, they thought it was 2.
Wow.
Then when they went in, they realized
Yeah,
that
you
I
see.
had some of my lymph nodes. So
Right.
yeah, it was 3.
Right. And the reason I'm
Yeah.
asking for this is because so people who are listening and who have family or who themselves are going through this, because they are going to watch and they are going to listen, to just not sit and say everything's over. There's even been stage 4 that there's been.
As a matter of fact, when I spoke earlier, I said I will elaborate a little bit later about the importance of pushing, going with that 6th sense. If you think something is wrong, act on it. Because I was just so happy the first time when they told me it was nothing and I let it go. Imagine the 2 years or almost 2 years that I spent. I was just lucky that I didn't have one of those aggressive types.
Oh, yes.
People have gone, like my older sister, within 6 months.
Yes.
People have, you know what I mean? There was a sister who went to second convention, and before we knew that she was sick, she was dead.
It was gone.
So the faster you act on it, the better your chances of getting rid of it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And what's the harm if you go and they say there's nothing wrong for real, then okay, fine. But what if there's something wrong? Then
you just sit there contented.
Yes. So I've already the next thing I would have asked was how your family took it, how they reacted. I've already said how they reacted. And for Justine has already explained her lie that has gone on with her mother.
For me, what happened was since I decided not to tell anybody, I waited until, remember Egbe? I used to have I said I was a nurse, right? So I used to work at night, taking care of this family. And then shortly before then, you had come to visit. You came to Maryland. We had a function with your auntie, some funeral stuff. And we classmates, we took pictures. I would go to work at night. I would look at those pictures and say, now this picture, they're going to show them for my funeral. These are some of the last pictures she took. Hey. So one day you called. Remember, I forgot what happened.
Very well.
Yes.
I was just calling to chat.
Just to chat. And I said, Egbe, this is the picture that I would like you to use at my funeral.
I was like, what the heck?
He said, what do you mean? What funeral? What are you talking about? I said, as a matter of fact, I'm sitting here like this. I haven't told anybody yet. You're the first one I'm telling. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. She was like, what do you mean? Yes.
I said, when was this diagnosis? She said November. I'm like, so this is what now? This is February. You're talking about it. She said, no, I know once people with their Christmas. I was like,
there you go.
Let's be fine for slap them. I'm like, this is the thing. Like, what do you mean by that? Then she was the whole thing about I will go to the place, I will be able to handle it. I said, I don't know, you can't, because I had a younger, like she's almost like a sister to me here in this town. She eventually lost her own battle, but there's no way you can do it on your own, like they say. I had to be her chauffeur and help her around a little bit. And I was like, there is no way you can go to that thing, go through all of that treatment and drive yourself back. How about we tell our classmates? But that's the thing. And her reaction was, no, I don't want to worry people. Blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, you have no clue. Let them be the ones to say it is a headache for me. We don't want to do it. And let's see how that works. And of course, it was the opposite that happened. They all rallied around, bless their dear hearts, and were there to support, which is one of the things I'm sure you're going to talk about, what it is. The whole support system, the medical support system, the family and friends social support system, which I know is a very important part of somebody's healing process. Let's talk about that, either from the medical point or the social point.
Well,
talk about your experience, Justine.
Yeah. So I would try to do a little bit of both. So I think that for me, okay, I think when you open up about your diagnosis, it really makes a difference. it does, because the amount of support that you get, you know, I know we come from a culture where people sometimes are superstitious. They think if people know, then something bad might happen and all that. So they try to keep it. So from the exposure and the training I have received now, if you're the type of person who does not feel comfortable sharing, it's okay. If that that helps with your healing process, then by all means, we want you to get healed. We don't want to cause any further stress, you know, not any more than you're already going through dealing with the diagnosis. But from my own experience, it made a lot of difference, because, you know, when I called my niece first, you know, she was the first one in the family that I called. And I told her, I said, Pam, I have something to tell you, but you have to be calm and you have to not break down, because if you break down, then you're going to make me break down. I said, I'm trying to be strong because this is like huge going through this. So she said, okay, Auntie, I'm going to be strong. What is it? So I told her, I said, where's your mom? That's my older sister. She said, Mom is in downstairs somewhere. I said, okay, take the phone and go upstairs to your room. So she went to her room and I told her, this is what the doctors have said. She was quiet. I said, you know, I'll be fine. Just take a day and digest it, think about it. I'll call tomorrow to talk to your mom, but don't tell her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next day I called, and then, you know, I told her, tell your mom to pick up the phone, and then you stay on the other phone. So now I told the two of them. Of course, my sister reacted like Auntie Pants. Now, which kind of trouble this? I mean, say, oh, my sister, they will die, and I mean, one I will remain. I said, sister, we are not dying, on only diagnosis. Oh, oh, you know, my sister, she's a warrior. She worries about everything. Yeah. So, but then she was like, you know, if you for do you want, but go for mommy, get for mommy. Oh, I said, sis, you know, if you tell mommy, oh, then how you go do? Hey, I did for Minnesota. You how you go? Because then her husband was still alive. He went to dialysis 3 times a week. So she was the one that drove with him to dialysis, you know, back and forth. And, you know, it wasn't possible for her to leave him there and then come here. So she was worried for me. Like, oh, mommy. I was like, no, let's leave mommy out of this. As a matter of fact, we told mommy, that house will start building for Church Street. That house they since never finished. Why you not go finish that house? So mommy was so happy to go finish house project, not knowing that we're
no close
out of here. Yes.
shipped off.
Yes. So as for my classmates, I mean, I never went to chemo by myself. Every time I went to chemo, one classmate, class of 81, Seka Baptist College, I mean, wow, yes, they were the best. They will sit with me for 4 hours and we're talking about all kinds of different things, just getting distracted. Yes. And then sometimes after chemo, we'll go shopping. I still have my shoes, you know, stuff from the mall, you know, shopping, go to restaurant, you know, just try to pick me up so I don't, you know, come home, stay with me, talk about all kinds of stuff, bet the cancer and the treatment. So that was really, really, really helpful. Not to mention the African Women's Cancer Awareness Association. Remember I told you when I was diagnosed, they gave me a bag with a folder that said Cancer 101.
Right.
So when the children will go to school and I'm home by myself, hey, God, I was not as strong as Sister Pamo. I was breaking down when nobody's there. What kind of trouble is this? So, hey, whoa, hey. So one day I said, that bag they gave me, let me just look at that bag. I opened it. I said, I did English 101. Now they say Cancer 101. Which one is this one now? Let me just read this here 101 thing. So I saw the name and the number to the African Women's Cancer Awareness Association. And they said you could call, they have navigators who will help you. I didn't know what navigators were, right? But I figured I'm from Cameroon. This is predominantly a Nigerian, I knew it was owned by some foreigners who are not from Cameroon. So I'm like, so they don't know me, right? So let me call them and talk to them on the phone. So I called and I felt on this wonderful lady called Miss Teresa. She was a navigator, meaning that they helped the new members who joined who were newly diagnosed, you know, visits to the doctor's office, you know, treatment.
Help you navigate the processes,
yes,
the
the
whole
process,
idea.
yes, like the name suggests. Yes. So she was so encouraging. She was like, I was crying. She said, don't cry. I had a sister who had cancer. I don't even know if she truly did it, but that's what she said at the time. I had a sister with cancer. She survived. Oh, you don't know how many people come through here and they all make it. Oh, no, it's no longer like it used to be. Don't
That
worry about
sentence
it.
like it used
Yes.
to be.
So then she asked me, when is your next appointment? I told her when the next appointment was. And I don't remember if I told her what city, but I just told her the next appointment. So can you imagine that when I went on my next appointment, Miss Teresa was at the doctor's office before I got there. So I came in out, she said, you must be Miss Justine, because we didn't know each other.
Right, you already talked on the phone.
Yes. I'm like, yes, I am. And who are you? She said, oh, I'm Miss Teresa. I remember I spoke to you on the phone. I said, oh, how did you know the doctor's office? And she said, you know, we've been doing this for some time. We know the oncologists around here. She said, when you told me you had an appointment and your diagnosis was done in Tacoma, I figured it was this office. So I don't know if she called before me to confirm, but she was in the right office. So she was so helpful. She was there when they were doing the exam, when they were giving me all this heavy vocabulary, you know,
Things you don't understand.
medical terminology, that everything that was going over my head. She was there, calm and understanding and being able to process with me, explain, don't worry, this is what I'm going to do. This is what that means. So that's when I promised Miss Teresa and Miss Ify. Miss Ify is actually the founder of the organization. But what happened was that that doctor's office that I went to, they wanted to do mastectomy on the right side only. My left side was fine. But I told them because of my family history,
Correct.
I did not feel comfortable leaving the left side. I wanted a bilateral double mastectomy.
Correct.
And they thought I was being too aggressive.
Too drastic.
Yes. They said, why do you want to do that? You don't need that. You're fine. So I called Miss Ify when I got home and I busted out crying. Oh, you said you help people with this organization. This is the problem. My doctors don't want to do what I want. She said, don't cry. Where are you now? I said, I'm at home. She said, well, I'm in the office. Can you come here in like 30 minutes? I said, Miss Ify, I'll be there in 20. 20 minutes, I was in Miss Ify's office. So apparently, the board of directors for the African Women's Cancer Awareness Association at the time was a plastic surgeon.
Okay.
Dr. Chukwu Emeka Onyewu, one of the best, if not the best, plastic surgeon in the state of Maryland. So she had an appointment with him. That's why she wanted me to be there. So she took me along with her to the appointment. So I was there on time and she took me along to the appointment. So she said, this is one of our daughters from Africa. She has problems with her doctor. I don't know if you can help her. So Dr. Onyewu said, can you explain to me what the situation is? I told him everything. I said, I want to have a bilateral mastectomy. I don't want to do one. So Dr. Onyewu said, you know what? I actually agree with you because statistics say 1 out of every 10 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer.
Right.
He said, do you have any aunts? Yes. Did any of them pass away? Yes. What did they die of? I don't know. So you see, in Africa, we don't have family history. So you don't know how many people before you. You only know about your sister. You don't know about the aunts, uncles. Nobody, you cannot say except for your sister. Right. So because we don't have that family history, that 1 out of 10 statistics brings you down to 1 out of 8.
Right.
The fact that an immediate sibling of yours, okay, so a parent, sibling, immediate, was diagnosed with breast cancer, brings you down to 1 out of 6. The fact that you have it in one breast, the chances of it traveling to the other breast brings you down to 1 out of 4. Why would you want to keep it? He said, we usually have a hard time convincing women to have a mastectomy. You are offering. So I don't understand why they're saying no. He said, but you know what? I'm going to call your doctors, have a chat with them just to see what made them come to that conclusion. And I said, please, don't call any doctors. If you call, just ask them to transfer my file because as of now, you are my new.
That's
said,
true.
I'm
Yeah.
about switching the carpet.
Yeah.
Just
I said, I'm not
crossing the carpet.
where, and that's when I told Miss Ify, I said, Miss Ify, if I go through this stuff and God brings me out of it, I am going to join your organization. I so appreciate you. I mean, she didn't know me.
Right.
You know, like she never met me. We just spoke on the phone. For her to, you know, I was so happy. I said, if I get through this successfully, I will come join you guys so we can help other people as well.
And that's exactly what you've done. That's exactly what Sister
Yeah.
has done. I don't mind on that note, switching. That was going to be later, but I'm going to go ahead after you've mentioned her name so often.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and jump to that AWCAA. I think I got it right this time. And they had a function just last weekend. Was it last weekend?
Yes.
I had a fundraising gala, and let me pull up some pictures from that event. Let's see if I have them here. I can try to share my screen. I think I do. There. Am I sharing yet?
Yes, you are.
So this is the thing. It's just, of course, it just says Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That's why we're doing this, because it's October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Okay, and here is the flyer for the event that happened. It says 12th Annual Ladies First Brunch.
Yes.
Breast Cancer Fundraiser is Survivor Fashion Show. And I saw that and I was going like, wow, what a fun, light-hearted thing that helps the ladies know life is so not over for you.
No.
You are very much in there, and that happened October 14th. And I see the participants, that there was Target involved, Bella Niger involved. So it was a big deal, apparently, as the picture showed. Let me go to the next one. Ta-da! There are my two guests. Right there, dressed in traditional attire, attending the event. Two proud survivors. There's Justine right there, like you hadn't recognized her, and there's Dr. EGBE-MESSY right there. At the event itself, right? This is at the event itself.
Yes.
Yes. And then there you go. That's
Miss
the family with Miss Ify, I don't know how to call her, the special, blessed, God sent Miss Ify right there. And then let's see what else we have here. There you are again, both of you. And that's the Miss Africa USA.
Miss Africa USA, yes.
So that she was part of the whole thing too.
Yes.
Very supportive. And we're looking at them and talking about the whole thing. I can't help but say, look at the perky boobs right there.
Hello.
I can't help but say, I'm looking at myself.
There's a good side to everything, right? Like Sister Pam said, we have to get rid of the babouche and
my goodness. This is hot in pink, very perky.
Hey, look, if your real ones try to kill you, then go for the fake ones.
Yes, so
there's something. Okay, and then here, maybe you let us know. That's Miss Ify again. I recognize her now. What about this lady right here in the beautiful gele?
Yes, Miss Rashida.
Okay.
I believe that's her name. She's also from Nigeria. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is she a survivor too or not?
He is a survivor. Yes. All of us, they are survivors.
Look at that.
Survivor.
All pretty. I hope whoever's watching or listening, look at it. Survivors right here.
So you know what is interesting? When Miss Ify started this organization, she was not a survivor.
You see.
She is a survivor now.
Wow.
But it's so funny because when I joined, she had not been diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
So yes, what happened was her mother came to visit. Her mother came from Nigeria to visit here in the US way back before I knew her. And then the mother was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Okay.
You know how difficult it is when you come, you don't have insurance, you don't know, you know? So it was very difficult for mom to get treatment. But Miss Ify's best friend at the time was a doctor, because Miss Ify herself, she's a doctorate in nursing.
Okay.
So her best friend at the time was a medical doctor. So that friend was able to get her colleagues to help provide treatment for Miss Ify's mom. So Miss Ify's mom, after treatment, when she was stable, she went home. Unfortunately, so many years later, she passed. And then that friend was now diagnosed with breast cancer. And that friend lost the battle. After both of them, Miss Ify decided to start this so she could help other people who have over here and have similar problems. And she helped all of us so long. And then like maybe 2 years or so before the pandemic, Miss Ify was diagnosed. We were like, oh my God, not this one person who is there helping all of us, you know? Yes, but because she was proactive, on top of everything. She was diagnosed as stage 0. I didn't even know there was a stage 0.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's
And there she is standing there, and
yes.
I don't know how to put it. A real member of her own association in
Yeah.
the real sense of the word.
Yeah.
Wow. But you see, that's the thing. I'm glad. You see, because people. Let me just go ahead, and that was the part of what I was going to say too. People tend to look at the thing when they see this show. Well, I've not been diagnosed.
Never know when it's coming down. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
You even see the show is going to be about breast cancer. So waiting concern me for okra soup.
Yeah.
Where
No.
everybody was a no cancer person till they were diagnosed.
There you go.
No,
Guess
except for the
what?
babies who are born with it.
Sorry.
Go on.
My very good friend, Odilia Ajamufo, I don't know if you remember her.
Very well.
Odilia was in the last phases of her life because Odilia died, I believe, February of 2012.
Okay.
And I would go call her, Odi, what should I bring to the hospital? Because at the end she was in hospice. Can you bring a spring roll from the Chinese restaurant? I would go sitting there with Odi, thinking, oh, my boyfriend is dying. No, knowing that I have it. It's just
already, it's a matter of time.
Diagnosed it yet. I had it. It just had not been found. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody had not officially said you do have it, but I did. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, Odi, where? Oh, my boyfriend is dying. So I'm just coming back to your point. It concerns all of us.
Everybody. And either, even if it's not really you, the support system that they're talking about, there is you. Look at the classmates you mentioned. They were the ones who were healthy and said, okay, let's drive you to this place. So we are all kind of concerned. At this point in time, I don't know anybody who doesn't have a sister, an auntie, a colleague, somebody that is affected. So we all are in this together. We all need to do the fundraising, do your own bit that you can do. When they say there's a walk, go walk your own walk, skip for cancer, jump for it, wear the pin, there's something there to show our support. And then another thing I was going to ask you is that in showing that support, I know that there are some things which, if you have not walked in somebody's shoes, you may not know quite how it feels and what to do. And so I was going to ask you, what are the things, what would you, having gone through this, what are the things you would like? I know it differs from person to person, like Justine had said, if you're open or not open, but what are some no-nos that you think, I don't know of anybody who has gone through this who likes to be treated this way, or what to even say and how to even offer your help? Any advice on what the rest of us should do besides actually donating? And so what are the things? Are there some no-nos that we should not be doing or saying?
The first thing, the very first thing, please do not talk about death near those people. Near come on now. Do not talk about death.
Are you trying to wait? Are you trying to say some people do?
Where this other person just died for cancer.
Oh my Lord.
So what?
Oh my Lord.
So what? So what? You don't mention that. Don't mention that. You know, it's so tacky. It's so tacky. Wrong. I had, you know, my biggest support apart from my siblings, it was especially my kids. They are grown. So I have grandbabies. So they'll be like, Ma, if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it at least for your grandchildren. Do it for them. One of my sons was like, Ma, I'm getting married next year. I don't want anything from you. Just get well and come to my wedding.
Amen. That was nice.
Just get well. That is all we ask. The other ones would say, you know, your grandkids are not getting married before the age of 30, but you have to be there. So,
they're all giving you future things that you need to be present.
Yes.
So you have a reason to fight.
Somebody knows you're sick. Where? You're really, because I decided at one point, no wigs for me. I couldn't deal with that. Now is the first time I'm really wearing wigs and stuff. But throughout that period, I spotted my Yule and I was fine with it. Where, you know, they even cover their heads more. Hell no.
Who is it offending?
And I covered the heads more. What is it?
And then the funny thing is that the other people who do it, who
why
don't
don't
even
you
I
buy
don't
a
know
wig?
Yes.
Why don't you buy a wig? Oh, I know this place where you can buy human hair. I liked my own human hair, so let me go with that. Yes, yes, and then especially the little things that you know, some people truly need to know how they can protect their hair before they start treatment. That, I mean, girls are still girls.
Right.
Some would want to keep their hair for as long as possible before losing it to chemo. Others need to know that, forget about deodorant, please, because if you're dealing with some of those things, deodorant will not be good friends with radiation, or, but the little things, as you said, that people should not
Actually,
mention. Yes, go
I
ahead.
remember one friend who called, and the first thing she asked me was, "What is the prognosis?"
Wow.
I'm like, really?
Come on
Wow.
now.
What am I supposed to tell you? I'm dying next week, next month.
Like you want a date?
Yeah.
Come on.
You want to go shopping for a black dress? No, like, what is that? What is that?
Yeah.
And
all
so
meaning
true.
well. Another one came
Yeah.
home, and then she asked me if I've thought of making arrangements for the children.
Oh,
Look, I want to live for these children, so I'm not going to make arrangements because I have to be here for the children. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. And one thing I also learned through the whole thing, your mindset is very important. So you want to be positive, and you also want positive energy around you. You want people coming, draining you, because you have to fight for your life.
Right.
So you want people coming there and making you think even more, getting you depressed. They tell us, okay, you should try to eat healthy, more vegetables, more this. But chemo messes up your taste buds. So I used to have to put so much salt in food, I couldn't taste anything, nothing tasted good. So if I like chin-chin, he said, "Oh, I want to eat chin-chin." I had this, my pastor friend, he was so nice. He'll bring the chin-chin. Then you say, Mommy, so if you chop chin-chin. I said, "Pastor, if this is what will take me out of here, then we'll just go because."
Then you go with a smile.
Hello. You have to eat something.
Yes. I remember she did call one time. I said, "But look, I've come out of this thing. I'm craving a burger. I really am craving a burger." I said, "You have called the wrong person, mommy, because I am not going to tell you to not have it.
Oh.
I will just say, please, I beg, mommy, just this today. This today, so just go." I'm the kind of person that's like, say, now wait yourself. Okay, this one thing, this one time, this today will not really do anything to make a difference. I might just go eat the thing, but please don't eat it tomorrow again.
Yeah.
Don't call tomorrow saying you're going to go.
And actually, when I had my burger,
I know. She just needed somebody to join in the guilds along. And I was a good volunteer. So, mommy, go. Mommy, go. What is it even? Go eat your thing, but please don't eat it again tomorrow. And the whole 9 yards. I mean, it is a tough time. So sometimes even I found myself in a position where if I don't feel like I am up to being the cheerleader I need to be for this person, then don't call yet. If you're going to call and cry louder than the person who has the issue, then maybe don't just call just yet. Wait for a day when you yourself are upbeat to go and joke with them and talk with them and help them buy into the here. Let them stay here. There's a reason for them to stay here, to fight. Because that whole thing is not only for breast cancer, it's for any ailment. If you are hopeful and you're positive, it can change a whole lot of things. It really can. But there's no way to not look at you both and just applaud you. Because it's one thing to be talking, yep. It's a different to wake up that morning and say, wow, like she was saying, so I may not be here tomorrow to see this, so what is going to happen to my children? It's a scary thought. It's a scary thought. So I really just thank God for the youth, for the Miss Ifys, for the people in the associations and stuff. They have a website. I went and checked and to see that AWCAA has a website. So for those of us who want to help and go there and donate. If we've missed the fundraiser gala, it doesn't mean that they're not still accepting donations.
Oh yes, you can still make donations. Yes,
website.
Donate.
There's there's also this website, you know, I'm just throwing it out there because it helped me a lot. Breastcancer.org.
Okay.
Just that simple. Breastcancer.org.
Breastcancer.org. I think that I spent my time on that website from the day I was diagnosed. I had, you know, just because of the exchange you have with other women who have gone through that, who are still going through that. I had a whole list, like a grocery list of what I need before my surgery, what I need after, what I need, you know, all those little things. And then, you know, exchanging notes. For example, when you're in pain, some women could not deal with the joint pain. You know, you have your chemo 24, 48 hours after you think you're going to die the next day.
Yes, yes. Pain.
And then sometimes the pain medications would not work. One of the ladies said, talk to your doctor, try Claritin D.
Yeah, Claritin.
What? Try Claritin over the counter.
Yeah.
Even the doctor said they do not understand. They do not understand why.
It's supposed to be an allergy medication, but
the
for
joint
some reason
pain,
it works with joint pains.
Look at that.
yes.
So that has become a controlled substance now because people go to the pharmacy.
Because people go, yeah. Then they will tell you, okay, they say you should not use deodorant, but you see, I tried this one that does not have aluminum. I tried this, and then you can use this because we had 3rd-degree burns in our armpit after the lymph nodes. But you know, you use just little bits of advice. Some will say they could not keep food down. One lady said, no water, no nothing. The only thing she could drink was scotch.
What?
Like the whiskey.
Yes.
If it worked.
Yes. She would eat crackers and then drink a little bit of scotch to keep the food down. Another one could drink only beer.
Wow.
I never threw up once. Why? Because I was on ginger ale from day one. So I didn't even lose a pound. I instead gained weight. So those little things, that website, that website would help a lot. And you would see women with the same diagnosis. And that is where you learn also that there's disparity with this. Most women have recurrence. Most women who have recurrence because they did not follow up with their post-treatment medications like the hormonal, the immunotherapy, continue because of insurance and all that kind of thing. So yeah, today I'm like, where was Ify when I didn't even know, but it's good for us to share the information. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the reason why we're having this show.
Yes.
And what I've noticed, as Justine was saying, this is the 2nd time she's coming on the show. I cannot tell you how many times, I don't think even a single month passes without somebody saying, that show you had like that, can you send me the link? The show you had the lady on there, can you send? But at the time when they were listening, they just said, okay, there's a lady talking about breast cancer. It hadn't come knocking on their door. Either they themselves or a sister or a cousin. After the fact,
or a brother.
There you go. I'm just thinking on something else. A brother. You know, we never think about that. We're thinking about all the boobs and the fashion show and everything. Breast cancer is like women. The color that we even use is pink, which is supposed to be a feminine color. But now, so you want to address that? There's men's breast cancer occurring more and more lately.
Yeah.
Do we know the stats? What's making the difference? Do we know anything? What do we know about it?
Well, I don't know what the stats are. I don't know, Sister Pam.
No, you know, when the doctor was explaining all that, we were backstage, but Egbe, I promise, first thing in the morning, I'm going to reach out to Ify so that, you know, we get it, so that you can have it, you know, you'll figure out how to disseminate the information. But it's really important. They were saying that you have more men than we think. That first of all, they don't even want to go for their prostate checkup. Then how about them going for breast? You know, but
and then
they
taking the diagnosis and wanting, even trying to share it. We are having a problem.
The thing is, since they don't have breasts as per se, their own lumps are usually just on the behind the nipple. So they need to know about that so that they can have their doctors check that also.
Wow.
You
Because
know,
they tell us this, the self-exam is supposed to be women. We're supposed to be the ones doing all the and stuff.
Yeah.
all the
Imagine telling
edges
a man,
and stuff. Yeah.
yes, imagine
So-
telling a man, go ahead and do that.
Yes.
And you're
So
like,
men, they also need to do the exams like we do on our own. They're in the shower. They also need to check because once again, we know our bodies more than anybody else. So yes, you're a man, you may not have the same lumptious breast that we do have, but you still have breast tissues. So if there's any difference in the appearance, in the feel, then you would know if you did the exams regularly. So they are also encouraged to do that and then go check. I know men are generally afraid or they don't like going to the doctor.
right.
As soon as you feel something or think something is there, it's good to go check. It's better to get a confirmation that, oh no, actually, well, not my kind of confirmation the first time, a real one saying there's nothing there. We did the mammogram, we did the sonogram, we saw nothing. And then you have a peace of mind. Then for you to stay because you're afraid or because you're thinking, no, I'm a man, how I can't have breast cancer. And then before you know it, it has traveled to other parts of your body.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So it is really I don't know what to even say. It's a challenging kind of situation because I'm thinking about how already it is difficult for anyone to get that kind of diagnosis and live with it. Go through the. I can imagine what it would be for a man who wants to even go tell their even their spouse or their children, what are you suffering from? Breast cancer, and everybody's going, us, we're going to go, huh? They're less willing to admit that that's what's going on with them than already has happened. So I know that there are places back home where I remember the last time when I had somebody talking about some facility in, I think it's around the outskirts of Douala there, taking the same information back to Cameroon, where if we already here did not know some things, how much more back there, where it's either the ignorance that you just don't know, or even when you do know, it's a matter of like, so what are we going to do? Because I'm wondering about, you're talking about bilateral, doing a double mastectomy. I do not know how that flies with people back home, where for you could do that. Yeah, I see you shaking your head. No.
No. First of all, the women don't, especially the younger ones, maybe in their 40s or so, will not want to lose their breast. They would be like, take out the lump or not even do surgery for the lump. Let's just treat, give medication and stuff. The husband does not want the wife to lose the breast. And that is more than emotional blackmail. And it's very selfish because the men should understand that
it's a matter of
diagnosing the cancer itself is not a death sentence, but refusing to let the woman take out the breast tissue for her own safety, that is a death sentence.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's,
But
it's
even here is amazing. Even here, some people, some men still have the reservations and stuff like that. But I think we are lucky that here we have the option of reconstruction. So that goes a long way towards peace of mind. Now, the problem back home is that you're on your own if you have
there's no reconstruction.
Yes.
right.
So I think what is good about organizations like the AWCAA is that they go on medical missions to different African countries. I have traveled with them to Cameroon. And while we were in Cameroon, the organization brought a lot of prostheses.
Yes.
Okay. So they encourage the women, if you have it, go for the surgery. We have the prostheses. You can wear your prosthetic, bra and having it there. I mean, you come out, when we had the fashion show last Saturday, there are many of the survivors amongst us who have no breast, but you can't tell who does and who does not because we all look the same. You can't tell who is wearing prosthetics under their outfit and who actually have breasts under their outfit. And that's the beauty of it. because,
Right.
things have evolved so much now.
Evolved.
And most
Yeah.
women, our beauty, most of the time is tied to our physical appearance.
Correct.
So, they've made a lot of progress in terms of making us look whole, even with all the treatments we go through. So, I mean, I pray that a time comes when we can have this supply of prosthetics in Cameroon, and then we can have also like public service announcements, some way to reach the women, educate them. Your life is more important than the breast, because if you have the mastectomy, you have a chance to survive, spend more time with your family, have more time with your husband. Now, if you don't and you die, guess what? That same husband you're afraid of, now he's guaranteed to go get another wife, right? Your children are going to be without a mom or your family, your parents. Imagine losing a child. So the mindset have to shift a little bit, where to look at their own survival as being more important than their appearance.
Than the outward appearance, especially when the outward appearance can be fixed. It can be fixed where you don't even it's a win-win. Yes, you don't have that, but you alone know that you don't have that because nobody's looking at you does. And we all know that we can say what we want, but we all know that it's just really just what you do for outward appearance. Because most of us come home and we get off sick of all of these things.
The wigs are coming out from the door.
Yes, the earrings are all go away. So it's not a matter of you feeling bad for how you look, because how we look before we do anything to ourselves is the whole helele.
I know. Yeah.
Before we put on the lipstick and the other thing. So if we can just get to the point where we consider even that as additions to who you are, because the person that you are inside, your mind, the real you is still there.
Yes.
It's still there.
I don't know. Sorry. I don't know if you remember me telling the story the first time we met. We had this interview on breast cancer. When I went to Cameroon with the AWCAA on the medical mission, there was a beautiful young lady who came to the hospital in Limbe. And we went with the plastic surgeon, Dr. Onyewo. He was the chair of the...
That's who went, okay.
Yes. So, I mean, this guy is just, I don't know, these people, they're just angels, because he took the time to go to perform surgery on all the women who were found to have lumps. Just, he's told me also in the past, Justine, if you want to go and have another, mission, he's willing to come with me. But what he's suggesting is go before, do the exams, have the women lined up, say on Monday, 5 surgeries, Tuesday, 5 surgeries, Wednesday. He doesn't want to come and then do one surgery tomorrow, do tomorrow. He feels like it's a waste of time, that, he can help more people. But this beautiful young lady was found to have, I mean, you could tell her breast on the outside, it was already affecting the appearance. And it told her that the best thing for her to do was to have a mastectomy. She cried and she cried. And she said, oh, you guys are saying that because you're from the United States. You don't understand. My husband will leave. If I don't know, you guys don't know. I felt bad for this lady, but I just stood there because there were other people around. She spoke and spoke and spoke. And then when everybody left, I went to her by myself. I said, you have a minute? She said, so I took her to one of the rooms in the hospital. And then I lifted up my top. Just like, I said, I want you to see my scar. I'm also a breast cancer survivor. She said, what? You don't look like somebody who has breast cancer. I said, exactly. What do they look like? Exactly. That's us. I said, just like you, we are the same. We're in the same situation. So I'm trying to tell you that, look, I had to go through it. So what we are telling you to do is not something foreign. We've done it because we want to survive. So if I can do it, I'm here. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. If you're surprised, right? So do it. It's private, just with you and your husband, your family members. You don't have to go ringing a bell in town, telling everybody that you guys survivor. Right. So,
and we can and hopefully that husband, those children, whoever it is that is there with you, we all would have to do that mind shift and say, if the person who has this thing has been able to be brave enough to go through all the chemo and all the pain you all have described right here, who are we to not grant them the right to do? Because it's one thing if the person herself was even saying, I don't want to lose my breast. That's even a different thing.
Yeah.
But her worry is what husband said, your husband should feel bad that your wife is sitting there saying, what are you going? So maybe she would have made a decision her own self. If she was single, she would have said, I'll go for it. And she's thinking twice because of you. Don't say bravo to yourself. Say, I suck at being a husband. I should be there saying, it's okay. You're going to be all right.
Yeah.
You're going to be all right and lend our support that way. So, ladies, heaven alone knows how long we've been talking. I could just go on and on. It's
So
so
you know what?
interesting.
While we are talking about AWCA, let me just also mention that our good friends and sisters, the Patchers, they also have the Patcher Foundation that goes to Cameroon on an annual basis for medical missions. They also bring prostheses and other supplies that could help breast cancer survivors. So I know AWCA goes, but they don't go to Cameroon as frequently as the Patcher Foundation does.
It actually has a basis,
Yes,
grounded there because it's functioning out here, but then there, I think it goes by CASEC.
yes, that's their acronym. CASEC stands, I've forgotten what it stands for.
Right.
Cancer something.
But if anybody looks up the Patcher Foundation,
Patcher Foundation, yes.
Find it.
PATCHA Foundation, they'd find it, because most of the things now, all the cell phones you used to go on TikTok, Facebook, all those things. If you do your research, you will find it and find out when they have those.
They are
missions
very
going out
present
there.
in Cameroon.
Very much so. Very much so. I'm glad you
them.
brought that up. They do I've seen them do organized marches, organized fundraisers, and they're doing a lot to help in that. That foundation is in honor of their mom, who has did pass away from breast cancer. And it's just a wonderful thing to do that, because you can sit and mourn and mourn and mourn. That's okay. But if you can do something get some good out of that, like they have done, it's an amazing thing. Like Miss Ify was doing even before she was personally involved. Now she is. Anything we can do is better than the nothing that we did the day before. So if you go and donate something, we're not saying it must only be these things we have mentioned here. Anywhere that you can find and help in your own neighborhood and in your own community is great. We're just giving you the ones we know that have a proven track record that you can go to and count on for help as you go through what is obviously a very difficult and challenging part of this journey. I'm going to turn to you all and ask for each person's last word. Sister Pam, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Last word?
Before we round up, I'll be like, let's not forget the Susan G comment, because I do their work every year. I did that even before I met Ify. So that's another group that people don't know, but they have a lot of resources. I hesitated for long, before even reaching out to them, but they have a lot of resources to help, to community resources and you name it. So I mean,
Komen,
yes, Susan G.
That's what I knew before, and I used to say the thing and just go donate there for donating sake before I started coming like, okay,
let's
begins
at local, yeah. And each community, each local community has all those. We just need to share the information, and people, you don't need to donate to one only. You can donate your time here, your knowledge there, that kind of.
Because human life is human life. If you're helping to better a life, it does not have to be a Cameroonian life, a Nigerian life, an African life, European life. Life is life. As you had said at the very beginning, we're all created in God's image. So it's not as if you should beat yourself on the head and say, I only give to Susan G. Comment, and so as if it doesn't matter. Or if you give to this association, it doesn't matter. It matters anytime.
It matters. Every little bit of help and love and attention that we can give, because we are survivors. I kept saying the other day, I said, no, we're not survivors. We are thriving, but we need to help the others who are on that journey to survive and thrive as well. So for me, I think that's the mission we should give ourselves, be out there. I mean, call if you need somebody to, because I know how hard it was going for chemo. I didn't want anybody to take me. I went by myself, Ubered. I Ubered to chemo, same for radiation. But if I can't do it, at least I will know somebody else who can take you. I mean, what does it cost me to lose 2 hours of work just to drive somebody to, for chemo and go back and pick them up? It's nothing. But if you don't reach out, nobody would know that you need that help. If you have your schedule for the month, for your appointments for chemo or radiation, we can spread it, you know, among us and make sure that somebody is there for you. Nothing beats that. Nothing beats that. We had family, we had friends. Some people don't.
Yeah.
Some people don't have anybody at all. You know, that's why I did not ring the bell when I graduated from chemo, just because that hospital, I mean, some people were in real bad shape, and nah, I say, you ring your bell, but they're not knowing if they're going to get out of that place. I took my diploma and walked out, hugged my nurses and stuff, but yeah, those little things.
It's really now that you're saying that it struck me. I was going to say, but why not? Then I hear you. I see why.
No, because nah, I couldn't. I just couldn't.
I hear you. I hear you. I see why how you reasoned it out and said, hey, the other people still there struggling, and then my rejoicing is like, okay, you all are still there, and then you learn that, because I had to go for some other, wasn't breast cancer, but I did have to go do the hysterectomy part and things, and I had been feeling quite sorry for myself. Got my little pity party till I got to the place. Because the moment I see it said the cancer thing, and I'm like, oh yeah. They said oncologist. I'm like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
But then you get there. And I was there sporting some hair on my head. And I saw everybody else there.
Walking slowly.
And I'm like,
no, you won't.
Don't say nothing again. Go there and go, yes. And then the funny thing, just to tell the story since we're chatting, I never thought that a fire drill happened in the hospital. I think at school fire drills happen all the time. So I'm sitting there waiting for the thing, and then the thing goes, I'm like, what is that? We're like, honey, you need to just get bread and dressed. Get dressed. That was the thing for the fire drill. I'm like, are you for real? And then now we're having to go down the stairs because fire drill, why you cannot go to the elevator.
Yes.
And at the beginning, we were not even told it was a drill. We thought it was even a real fire happening in the hospital. So now we're trying to go downstairs, and look at me, the quote-unquote suffer lady, really almost sprinting down those stairs. Then now look at the real people who have the condition. Now, don't ever even open your mouth again and say something. These are the people that you should. So I said, let me go even help some people down, because they still had to evacuate the thing, the building and everything. The real people with the struggle. You don't even have anything. You're almost ready to sprint down this thing to go on out the door. And the other people there who have it so much harder. I've seen the Uber people, they get the van comes to take them off, and I'm sitting there, husband and children, there with you. And I'm going, just count the blessings, count the blessings. It could be so much worse. It is so much worse for others. When you have it better, you thank God. And when you can help to make somebody's journey better, you should help. You should do what you can do. Justine was going to be your own roundup thing.
Well, I've said it so many times in the past. I believe that your mindset is 50% of your treatment. Has a lot to do with how you handle your diagnosis. Before my journey, I was under the impression that, well, if you are stage 0, like I've come to know, or stage 1, you make it. Stage 2. But if you are stage 3, stage 4, just forget it. You know, it's too late. You was caught late and everything. And then I've come to know people diagnosed in stage 0 who almost lost their lives. They like struggled, right? And then you see people who, what is Kardashian's grandmother who's had stage 4 how many times? And they've beaten the cancer and they're walking up and down. So the way you feel about it, if you're going to sit all day and think about everything you're going to lose, what could have been that would not be, you will not be at the sun sweating, then your immune system will not fight as strongly as it probably would have, as it would have if you were like, look, okay, so that's their own story. I don't, okay, so they say I have it, so what? Life goes on. And you just, I mean, not that you will not break down from time to time, but don't let it consume you 100%. Because one big lesson I have learned is that once you're diagnosed with the disease, whenever you die, there's a tendency for people to say, oh, she died from cancer. Oh, But guess what? Most often, people
It's
don't
something
die from
else.
the cancer itself.
Mm.
They die from complications from the treatment of cancer. Okay. So, for example, you go and you get chemo, your immune system is low. You die from a cold.
Right.
So it's not really the cancer that killed you. Your immune system was very low and you died from cold. But because you had cancer, they would just say, oh, she was going through cancer, she died from cancer. Right?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yes.
I had an embolism.
You see what I'm saying?
During
A
chemo.
lot of people have blood clot from,
Mhm.
right. And even if you don't have cancer, you would die from a blood clot. But because you're going through that, they just say, oh, yeah, she died, she had cancer, she died. So don't carry it. It's difficult. I know it's a
it's
very
hard.
high diagnosis. It is. But try your best not to let it consume you.
Right.
Because think about other things that are positive. I have a tendency to go shopping. I mean, some people drink, I don't drink. I stand in front of the mirror. I try all my clothes. I wear the different blouse. I wear the earrings. I put the shoes on, take them off. At the end of the night, I push all of them on the side of the bed and I go to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
It lifts your
And you feel
spirit.
better.
As long as it
Whatever
lifts
lifts your
me up,
spirit.
right? Yeah. So whatever works for you to pick you up, try to
That's
do
what
that
you
more
do.
often. Yes.
You
And
can't,
I
you
just
can't get up in
avoid
the
the
morning
daytime.
and play all the sad songs and weep.
Oh,
You don't open the
Yeah.
blinds. That even is good advice you've given there for anybody, for anything. That is good advice you've given for anybody or anything. I was telling you that might actually happen. So your mindset, your mind frame, even if you're feeling sad about something else that doesn't have to do with this, if you really wake up in the morning and do not open the blinds and just sit there,
you just need 2 days of not opening the blinds. You fall into depression, and it's very hard to
depression
get
you're
out of
looking
it.
for. Whereas the change of just opening those blinds, putting on some music, calling somebody who would make you laugh or something, very different day from than if you had not done those things that you just mentioned there. So that is really good advice you've given there. And I hope everybody can, for those who are listening on the radio, make sure you go and watch this video, because then you can see the ladies I'm talking you can see the ladies I'm talking to. They are looking splendid. And before we go, I know that I had stopped the thing because we're chatting. I stopped showing the pictures. I want to go back and show the one that had, I think, everybody in it. Let me see. We had stopped at this one right here. So let me move to, okay, there's this lady we hadn't gotten to.
Yeah, so this lady, she's Miss
Esther.
Miss Esther. Miss Esther is she's a nurse. She's from Nigeria. She's also a breast cancer survivor, but she's the manager. She runs the organization AWCAA.
Yeah, look at her.
So she decided this is a lady who
with
could
her perky chest.
She could make a lot of money working as a nurse, okay? But she had decided, because the AWCAA is a non-profit organization, so they're not out for, they're just out to help.
Right, not
So
profit.
she decided to make this huge sacrifice to come to the office and help. I mean, last year she was in a fashion show, like a week after she had gone through surgery.
Wow.
Yes. So you see how beautiful she looks and how upbeat she is. We try to encourage each other. We try to lift each other up. And she's been a blessing to the organization since she joined.
Look at her there. Yep. And then now I think here's the one that has all of you in it.
Yes. And the lady in the orange dress, she's from Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Yes. And then we have Miss Rashida from Nigeria with the white and green. Right. And then we have Miss Hanan is from Sudan.
Okay.
Right. And then we have the sister next to Miss Hanan. She's also from Nigeria. Okay. And then we have our one and only beautiful, dynamic Auntie Pam, right?
Auntie P right there.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. We have her sister from Cameroon, Miss Justine.
Yes, the incredible Miss Justine.
So in our first outfit,
that's how 9 lives. She has like 12 lives.
Hello. We had to wear our traditional outfits in our first group. Yes. So then we have the founder, the blessing to all of us, Miss Ify, the selfless lady who had this grand idea to create an association to help women in general, and then Africans who come here and then have this issue. Yes. So Thank you so much. It was wonderful having us on your show.
Right. It was
Spending
a
another
pleasure.
night
We
with
had
my
so much
kids.
fun. It doesn't even feel like we're talking to anybody. We're
Right.
just having a chat.
Yes, yes,
A
yes.
chat here. So thank you so much, and just keep doing what you're doing. You
Thank
are
you. We should do this again.
any
Let's do
day,
it more
any
often.
day,
Let's
any
do
day,
it more often.
any day. Count me in, as they say. Count me in. I will be ready to
Sister
come.
Pam, I'm still curious. So you didn't tell us about the first time.
She says, okay, next
I
show
was
we'll hear about the
very
first time.
surprised to hear that.
Justine, stop. Aren't you afraid of HIPAA violation?
No, you're not giving any details. I'm like, wow, sis, you're such an encouragement. Wow, thank you so much.
Yes. Egbe can relate because it was something of the same sort.
The same kind of thing. Okay.
Were you in the US already?
But mine was more.
Were you in the US or in Cameroon?
I was in the Midwest.
Oh, you were already here.
Out here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, sister. Oh, thank you. It's so nice to see you're my role model. Yes.
And trust me, you both are a ton of people out there's role models after doing this. Because not everybody wants to even do this. They're like, hey, we don't want us everybody to know. She would sit and say, okay, no, I was a journalist, TV journalist. They're going to say, yeah, they're going to say, hey, really? No, but then who do you help when you keep it to yourself like that? Whereas you can do so much to lift other people's spirits, and they say, look at her, she's right there, looking the way she is, looking good. So thank you for coming.
Oh, Egbe, sorry, before you close down, next time let's try and draw attention to the fact that younger girls in their 20s are now being diagnosed, and yeah, some are losing their lives. Before they said from age 40, but now you have them 22, 25,
yes,
being diagnosed up to stage 4, which is not, you know.
That's not how we used to be like
that's why I say we should do this again.
We should talk about that and maybe get 1 or 2. Hopefully, we're going to get survivors. 1 or 2. If you know, we'll talk about this. I definitely am up to that. Talk about people so they can raise their awareness, because they don't at that age, because of what we know, they don't think about it. So they will definitely not be getting any early diagnosis because they're just thinking something's going on there. It cannot be that. Yes, it cannot be that. And then of course it's going to travel into, they'll be less willing to lose the breast, because they're like, yeah, not like some of us, same thing. Telling me that, okay, they're going to take away your whole uterus and the whole 9 yards at this age, like, what am I doing with it?
Yeah.
But that's not the same reaction that somebody who is in their 20s, like, how am I going to have my children? Who's going to want to marry me if I cannot even have any children? Yes. See, so that's the whole thing. That's a whole new show about to happen if we don't stop this one.
No, let's stop.
Let's stop this.
Some of us need to go have dinner.
If you can go to a prayer line.
Yes, this show is about to happen. It's about to happen right now. But trust me, count me in. Let us do those findings and convene again to have something. So thank you. I just appreciate you. Love you really, very much. And I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for all women out there and men going through breast cancer. And this month, we take the time. A month is not enough, but at least it's something. It's a place to start. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, viewers and listeners. Thank you for listening. See you another time. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.